All right. What, for number one, if you are given that function, what is your vertex? -1, -5, right? So it's the opposite of what's inside and the same as what's outside, okay? -1, -5. What is your axis of symmetry then? X equals, okay? And please don't forget the X equals. It is important. It's what's telling you it's a line and not just some number somewhere. X equals, and then it's always your X value or your H value there. So X equals -1. Okay, so let's plot that. X equals -1 is a vertical line at -1. And then we're at -1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, -5. How do you find the Y-intercept in this form? Plug in X as what? 0, right? Where X is 0, you'll get a Y-intercept. So we're going to plug in a 0 right here to find our Y-intercept. So it's 2 times 0 plus 1 squared minus 5. Okay, 0 plus 1 is 1, 1 squared is 1, so 2 times 1 is 2, and 2 minus 5 is a -3. So we get the point for a Y-intercept 0, -3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, if we reflect that, we also get the point -2, -3. So go ahead and just reflect it. What's another way I could have gotten those 2 points?
You could just assume -5 and then put 0.
No, use this 2, right? That first move from your vertex up 2 to the right one and up 2 to the left one would get us there. Chris.
Never mind, I forgot.
Okay. Yeah.
If we were to do that to go up 2 to the right one, would we get marked on points?
No, as long as you still tell me that it's -0, -3. Yeah, no, that's fine.
Why do we have to put the 0? Like, why can't we just say the Y-intercept is -3?
Where are you getting the -3? Oh, why do you have to put 0 as the naming the point? I'm not picky about that. If you told me -3, that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I was kind of confused because since we got the X -1, X -1, I don't know what do we plug it in.
We did plug it in to find the vertex, right? We plugged this one in. Oh, no, we didn't. No. You don't have to in vertex form. You're thinking standard form. In standard form, you have to plug it in to find the Y value, but we find our vertex just by looking at those 2 numbers,
Okay.
right? So then you don't have to plug it in.
So we just plug in 0 for.
Plug in 0 for the Y-intercept.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so your graph looks like this. I only need the 3 points. That's fine. What is your minimum? -5. It's always the Y value of your vertex. It's your K value. So the minimum is -5. What's the domain? All real numbers. And what's the range?
Y is greater than or equal to -5.
Yes, greater than or equal to, because it's opening up, right? Your Y value has to be more than that -5. Okay, so there is one problem on your quiz that starts in vertex form and you have to find all the things. Then there's one problem on your quiz that starts in standard form and you have to find all the things. And that's example 2 there. Notice the difference. This one you start with the axis of symmetry. The other one you start with the vertex. Okay, so it's a different form. You start in a different place. All right, so this one says given the function y equals -x squared minus 4x minus 3, find the axis of symmetry. Before we even do that, can you tell me how this graph will open, up or down?
It'll open down.
Down, because of that negative out in front, right? It's going to open down. So just always check that, because sometimes you plot things wrong and then it opens up and doesn't make sense. How do you find your axis of symmetry on this one? Yes, x equals -b over 2a. So a -b right now is a +4 over 2 times -1. So that's 4 over -2, which is a -2, okay? How do you write your axis of symmetry?
X equals -2.
X equals -2. So go ahead and plot that. X equals -2 is here. Okay. What is the X value for your vertex? -2, right? That same value gets plugged into your vertex. How do you find your Y? Plug it in. Okay, now be careful here. Look at this equation and look at what we're working with. I'm going to plug it in over here. Y equals negative, now put parentheses, -2 squared minus 4 times -2 minus 3. Do you see what I did right here? Okay, it's the opposite of x squared. It's not -x in parentheses squared. It's the opposite of x squared. So make sure that negative is out in front. Now we're going to square -2, so that's 4. That becomes a -4. So it's -4 plus 8, because this is a -4, -2, so that's a +8 minus 3. -4 plus 8 is 4. 4 minus 3 is 1. So your vertex is -2, +1, right here. Okay. What is your Y-intercept? It's that -3. Yeah, 0, -3, or if you just tell me -3 on that, that doesn't bother me. So your Y-intercept 0, 1, 2, 3 is here, and then reflect that over to here. Can you tell me how to find one other point without having to plug anything in? 2 other points, really. Down 1 over 1, right? This A value out in front means one slope. Do it one time on each side. So from the vertex, down 1 to the right one, down 1 to the left one, that gives you your curve of your graph. What is your maximum? Your maximum is 1. It's where you hit the Y. So your maximum is 1. What's your domain? All real numbers. Oops, always. And then your range. Y is greater than or equal to or less than? Less than or equal to that one. Remember, all 3 of these, here, here, and here. So range, max or min, and vertex, the Y value of your vertex, those are all the same number. Okay? Jada.
So the vertex, the Y-intercept, and what else needs to be?
The 3 highlighted ones, the vertex, the maximum, and the range.
So those are all the ones I have to do.
They're all the same number. Whatever you found as your Y value of your vertex will be your max or min, and it will be your range number. Yeah. Questions on that? Either one of those? Yeah, Zoe.
So how can you, the bottom of the range, how can you tell with the
The symbol?
yeah, is it?
So when it opens down, your Y value is getting smaller. So Y has to be less than or equal to. When it opens up, Y has to be greater than or equal to.
Okay, that makes a lot more sense.
Yeah. Okay, number 3. This one says, given Y equals -4x squared plus 16x plus 10, find the axis of symmetry, find the vertex, and then write it in vertex form. So what is our axis of symmetry? How do we find that?
X equals -2.
Yep, we're gonna do x equals -b, so a -16 over 2 times your A value, which is -4. And again, if you're plugging it into your calculator, double the parentheses, or just do it in your head. -16 over -8 is a +2. So your axis of symmetry is x equals 2. That means your vertex is 2 something. How do you find that something? Plug it in. So for your vertex, we're going to say y equals -4 times 2 squared plus 16 times 2 plus 10. So -4 times 4, that's going to be a -16 plus 32 plus 10. That is 26. Okay, so your vertex is 226. What does vertex form look like right now then? But what is A? -4. You take the A value from right here. So y equals -4 times x minus 2, don't forget to square it. Then what? Plus 26, yes. Vertex form. Okay. So far, so good? All right, next one. It says find the equation for the given parabola with a vertex of 1, 3, so that's your h and your k, that goes through the point 4, 21. That's your x and your y. This is the one that I said, just write the general vertex form with the vertex plugged in first. I don't care if you don't do that, as long as you get to the right place, but I will give you partial credit if you do that first step and don't get to the right place, okay? So that first step would be y equals a times x minus your h value, so minus 1 squared, plus your k value, which is 3. So your final answer is going to look like this with a number in place of a, okay? What we do from there is now we plug in our x and our y. So it's going to be y, 21, equals a times x, which is 4, minus 1 squared, plus 3. So I just plugged in x and y, and now we simplify. 4 minus 1 is 3, 3 squared is 9. So this is 9a plus 3 equals 21. Okay, take away that 3, and you get 18 equals 9a, and then divide by 9. So a is 2. Okay, and then once you know what a is, you're literally just taking that number and dropping it into that very first thing you did. So y equals 2 times x minus 1 squared plus 3, and that is your final answer. Any questions on that? Okay. Quadratic model. So this one, I'm not even gonna do this one with you right now. I'm gonna have you do this one in your calculator. This is what we just did. So go to y equals and clear it out if you haven't. Okay, where do you start? How do you plug those in? Where do you go? Stat, enter, right? Stat, edit, and then put those numbers in. So stat, edit, clear out your other list. And it's a short one, -2, 0, 2 on your left. Oh, shoot. I'm not gonna enter. And then you don't even have to graph this one. Like I didn't make you graph it. On the quiz, I do have you graph it. So if you wanna try and graph it real quick, Zoom 9 will show you the graph, right? Window shows you how to label that graph, but like I said, you don't have to do that right now. How do you calculate your equation? Zoom 9 is the graph. Stat, calc, 5. Quad reg. Stat, calc, 5. Okay. What do you get for your A value? A is -3. What's your B value? 1. And what's your C value? -4. So you write that y equals -3x squared plus 1x, so you can just call it plus x, minus 4. Okay, if you're not getting that, talk to me and I'll walk you through it after we're done with the worksheet. Okay, number 6, it says the path of a baseball is given, baseball, let's hope for a better night tonight, huh? The path of a baseball is given by the function that you see there, where f of x is the height of the baseball in feet, and x is the distance from home plate in feet. Can we just talk about this though? That wind sucked. That was terrible. Like some of those balls, no, some of those would have gone in much better places if not for that stinking wind. Ugh. Like Gavin knew. He knew he had it. He was like, and there was like, oh, the wind. Just kidding. Ugh. Makes me so mad. Okay, anyway, coming back to what we were doing. How do you find this? What are you finding? First of all, max height is which one? That's your y, okay? So be careful with that. It's your f of x, technically, your f of x or your y. How far from it does it reach its maximum? That is your x, that's your distance from home plate. So just be clear when you're solving that you're putting things in the right place, because I want to know that you understand what you're doing here. So to solve for x, what do? X equals negative b, so negative 1 over 2 times your a value, negative 0.0032. Okay, please don't forget to put parentheses around it. So x comes out to 156.25 what? Feet, right? This is feet. How far from home plate? 156.25 feet. Unless you're playing in the wind, it was probably like 130. I'm not bitter at all. What do you do to find the max height then? Plug that in. So f of 156.25, I don't need to see that part from you, equals negative 0.0032 times 156.25 plus, I'm going to run out of room, 156.25 plus 3. Okay, so you're just plugging that, squared. You're plugging that into your calculator. So you get f of 156.25 equals, when you plug that in, what do you get? Anyone plug it in? 81.125. And what is that? What's the maximum height of the baseball? Still feet, right? 81.125 feet high. Questions on that? Okay, you have 5 minutes and you have 3 problems for homework. So if you want to try and get your 3 problems done, it's literally just plug it into your calculator and then drop it into the formula. You might be able to get 1 or 2 done right now. A lot of solving, yeah, well, you might be able to get 1 done then.